I'm being serious. It's good. It's high quality. Board jerky, bro. The best. Yeah, medical holders, be fucking proud of your boys right now. They're what's up.
I actually went and found the
shit out of
announcement
Buddy,
on
yeah.
Twitter.
We finna watch JAMARI, the dirty business of the Nelk Empire. I don't know why you said Nelk Empire instead of Nelk Boys.
So it has been a couple of years
Teach
since I
his
last
own.
spoke about the Nelk boys, but recently something has come across my desk that I simply could not ignore. I'm talking about a potential heist that is not known to the general public, despite the fact that it has to be one of, if not the biggest, in YouTube history. And the craziest part is, they swindled every cent right under the nose of their biggest fans. But to understand the ride I'm about to take you on, we have to go all the way back to January 19th of 2022, when Nelk would make a decision that would change their brand, their reputation, and their lives forever.
We would never ever put a brand on the line that we worked on for 10 years to even make $25 million, to even make $50 million. Like, there's no amount of money that would ever make us want to just put our stuff on the line like that.
Now, it's kind of hard to believe at this point that it has been 4 long years since one of the worst eras in internet history. And no, I'm not talking about when that boy Jake Paul was trying to make some music. I'm talking about the NFT gold rush, when thousands of grown men across the globe bought into this idea that JPEG images were destined to be the next great investment. You had images of cartoon monkeys smoking dicks selling for millions of dollars. Can I interest you in a Microsoft Paint doodle, my good sir? Yeah, that would be $300,000. You had all of these absolute baboons spending hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars on these digital assets that in the end were mostly worthless.
I spent $500,000 on CryptoPunks because Gary Vee called me and goes, "This is the next Facebook."
I wanted to make a splash. I wanted to send a message. $716,000.
More than I've ever spent on an
I
NFT,
know.
on a single NFT.
But at least that of his will actually probably do well. Yours crashed and burned.
Like I'm saying, within
He
6
said bought
months
an
for
NFT, he
99%
bought
of these
currency
projects,
NFT.
the writing was on the wall that they were absolute duds. But for the Nelk boys, they saw this as the
was a
opportunity of a lifetime to finally unleash
investment,
the
though.
biggest full send load right
Currency
onto the
did shit
face
for you.
of their audience. Because for those of you that don't know, by that time Nelk had built one of the strongest
I hope he
brand
still got it,
identities on
because he
the
one of the few
entire
people with it
platform,
now.
forming a legitimate media empire over the course of 5 years that included tens of millions of dollars in merchandise sales. Like I'm telling y'all, the most annoying guy you ever knew definitely had this hanging up in his dorm room.
So how many? I have 8. This one, I got this one 2 years ago. One of my best friends. It was 3 a.m. and then I was watching one of you guys' videos and I said, why can I fucking do to meet you guys? Bro, I was thinking about getting all you guys tattooed on my other leg. Like all the faces, bro. Yeah, for real. You would get my face tatted on you? Literally all the Nelk boys.
But even I must admit that Nelk connected with their fans on a level that I had never seen before. And they did it by developing this entire culture around their brand, mixing Canadian lingo with American frat culture, lifestyle, and eventually conservative ideology.
Where are the Nelk boys? I want the Nelk boys. These guys are great. Come on, let's get a picture, fellas. I want some fame. See you again.
That's fucked. Donald Trump just says Nelk boys? How's that? Like, that's weird shit, bro.
I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelk boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan.
This aspirational marketing worked like a charm on men all around the world, especially in America, much like how traditional frat culture has enticed young men entering college for decades.
We're in Missouri, I'm having a great fucking time. I'm probably 15 beers deep, and I can still speak better than Biden.
Let's fucking go, boys! Where we going? Let's go! Raise some fucking heavy dance! Where we going? Let's go! We're on the bamboo!
That is beautiful.
Let's go!
These guys are often looking for direction, acceptance, friendship, and a sense of belonging to something greater than themselves, while also wanting to align their identity to something that could in theory give them immediate status and access to events, people, and ranking that they so desire.
What happened last night? How did it go?
I think we followed through and made it happen. But
He said he think.
And we will see all of these things on display
through and made it happen.
Ranking that could in theory give them immediate status and access to events, people, and ranking that they so desire.
What happened last night? How did it go?
I think we followed through and made it happen. But found
No, Benjamin!
And we will see all of these things on display here in a second, you know, in the way that they played them like a fiddle. But either way, for Nelk, it was like suddenly this prank channel that started with 3 or 4 guys, depending on the time period you were looking at, slowly started adding in all of these different characters. There was drama, there were arrests, people were kicked out, people were brought back in, they were almost banned from YouTube several times. And all along, the mastermind behind the entire venture, Kyle Forgard, kept the ship moving in the right direction, and Nelk packaged this entire thing and sold it like crack. First through their videos, then through their full send merchandise, and eventually through their alcoholic seltzer brand Happy Dad.
Cheers, boys, let's go. Happy Dad is officially available. Let's do it!
That is the real cash cow that made Kyle one of the biggest success stories in YouTube history. But before the major success of Happy Dad, we have to look at an earlier decision that happened almost in succession with that launch. Back in early 2022, Nelk announced that they would be stepping their dirty little toes into the NFT deep end, only mere months after learning what an NFT was in the first place.
Ours is called Full Send Metacard. What that gives you access to is, like I said, everything that we have now, and then everything that we're going to do, not only in the physical world, but also as the world becomes more digital.
You know, they kind of softly massage their audience into purchasing these full send meta cards, speaking often about the metaverse and how NFTs were going to be the next big thing, and then of course bringing on the NFT godfather Gary Vee to show this absolute horseshit.
A lot of people have heard the term NFT. They don't know what it is. A lot of people think it's a scam or this and that, but like, everybody thought the internet was a fad. And that's what you're hearing right now about NFTs. Like, this is money laundering, this is a fad. But the overall concept of NFTs and what it represents will affect every person listening and watching for the rest of our fucking lives.
Nope. I'm gonna keep bringing it up. I'm in the 95% probably of influencers that don't understand the NFT space.
So do the
and
homework,
when I get
Bob.
a brand deal, but I'm saying if I get a brand deal, it's like
Bob, the answer is do the fucking
I think
homework.
you got to do homework and try to get ownership in a successful project, aka ours.
You know, I feel like this guy used to be decent, but these days I find
Yeah,
him
you
to be
fell off.
insanely
Gary Vee
annoying.
definitely
You're
fell off.
way fucking better spending 50 hours doing your
His method is he get a bunch of rich people with the clout already, and they invest 6 figures, and he get 10 of
own
them.
homework on Twitter, YouTube, and
So
Discord
look up
on
Chirpin.
NFTs than any.
You get 10 of them, bro. That's a 7-figure project. That's $1 million project just off that. Just off the 10 famous influencers that put 100K. And you know what they did? They all rug pulled, all of them. As soon as they started promoting it and they seen these favorite creators and shit on there, everyone like, okay, he doing it. I'm gonna do it. And they rug pulled the shit out of it.
Going on in college.
I already know they rug pulled
what
it.
is step one though? So say you have to put in those 50
Do
hours.
what I did in January. What is an NFT? Enter.
But that's what Gary Vee do.
Either way, the
That's what
entire
Gary-
pitch
that's
was
what-
the Nelk's
that's
audience
what
could
Gary
now
Vee
invest
does.
in them directly. At the time these NFT cards were minted, which means they were made available to the public to purchase, they cost an average of around 0.75 Ethereum, which at the time was about $2,300. And Nelk sold 10,000 of these cards in 10 minutes, which would net them over $23 million from their NFT project. With the main proposition that they pitched over and over again in podcast, interviews, and on Instagram was that anyone who purchased the full send meta card would be getting exclusive access to perks that no one else could ever receive.
And as we build this empire, you're one of 10,000 people that's getting access to everything that we're gonna fucking do. We want people that say, hell yeah, I would go to a fucking full send hotel and casino in 5 years.
Almost as if this card now made you a founding shareholder in the Nelk Empire.
It's like a modern day or like a decentralized way for people to like invest in us. Our fans give us money, right? So we just sold a bunch, so we have the money, and then in exchange, we give them a meta card, and then so they have something, right, that they can verify as theirs. And now we have all this money, and our job is to build shit. So we're gonna launch like physical locations, like we're gonna launch full send lounges. We're gonna start here and then maybe do one in Vegas, Miami, New York.
That's
So we're gonna
fine.
launch like physical shit that's only available for our holders. That's just like one of the many things we're gonna do, but that'll drive up the price of their Metacard. You know, so it's like they're giving us money, we get the money, we do as much shit possible to drive up the price of their Metacard. So it's kind of like they're investing and getting a return, you know?
And you're taking that money and fueling it into all these different things you're building, right?
Yeah. Like now we have like a real budget off the money that we made to hire like a full team just to focus on the utilities for Metacard holders, which is pretty cool, I think, right?
Constantly and consistently, Kyle and his band of idiots claim that these users would gain access to full send gyms, full send casinos, full send restaurants, full send supplements, as well as private events, private testing of their Happy Dad beverages.
Why would you want a full send supplement?
One day we're gonna open up full send gyms.
Like that's not what they offer. That's not what they do.
Full send hotel and casino. That's like the Hard Rock lounges. Full send could be in almost every space. Every space that we say is like, you know, has a male consumer. Anything cool. We could have a fucking full send sports agency.
As well as private access to future NFT projects that they plan to drop later that year.
We're going to be dropping a lot of NFT projects under the full send umbrella.
Yeah.
Happy Dad.
But Metacard holders will have first access.
And of course those celebrity meetups on Epstein Island. Okay, maybe I made the Epstein part up. They especially talked a very big game on these full send gyms.
Tried to tell you a few times. I don't know if I told you, but did I tell you guys about the full send gyms?
No, just that you're that we're working with a really big partner.
High mint price. What's your plan? Oh, you're building physical gyms with top-notch equipment? Never mind. Makes sense. By the end of 2022, we're gonna have at least 2 full send gyms, maybe 3, maybe 5.
In fact, Kyle claimed that card holders would have free and full access to these gyms, which he said eventually would be all over the country.
Like once we open those gyms, those will be free to holders. I believe that full send gyms will be
Don't even start, bro.
everywhere in like 3
Don't
years.
even start. We're
Having
gonna
the
have sex.
balls to
It's
claim
good.
that the first one would be opening up within 6 months from the minted date of the meta cards.
How far out do you think we are from opening the OC?
6 months.
Nice. And then they'll just start
But
coming out.
we could have like 5 to 6 this year.
And their eventual plan was to build out strip clubs, they talked about brothels, and to even host these large full send music festivals.
Barbershops.
Gas
We could
stations.
have a full send festival,
Or I
like
guess
Rolling
electric.
Loud. Golf, of course. I mean, we could have a golf course.
URL.
Strip
Yeah.
club. Right? Strip club. 100%. Full send strip club.
Sorry.
Full send brothel.
Let me finish.
Kyle at this point made his audience think that he was
That's
all
crazy,
in on both
though.
NFTs and the metaverse in general.
That's why
which
I
at
don't
the time
play
I
with
guess was
females.
kind of known to be the next big thing.
We need
So
to-
when you buy an NFT,
I just did. Yeah, I got outplayed. Nigga.
it's obviously a flex to have it.
I ain't never
You're
fucking
gonna be able
that
to
shit no
bring
more.
whatever
Yeah.
NFTs you have
I ain't
into the
playing
metaverse.
no more game. That
I
shit
think the way I
dead.
compare it is like, remember how your grandparents would say like, I don't need a cell phone?
Yes.
And they're like, why the fuck do you need a
That's
cell
what
phone?
happened
Like, I
when
don't
you
need
get
that. Like,
bored and
that's gonna be
shit
like
like
little
that.
kids are probably gonna have
24
like
hours.
chips in your brain. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? You guys don't have it? Like, you're just old. Like,
Where idiots
But I gotta be
genuinely thought
working.
that people would
Gotta
spend
be
their
doing
free
something.
time and subsequently start living their
Busy.
lives. You know, getting virtual BJs.
you will be able to pull. Like, when a bird you see knows that like you have a bored ape like in your fucking house at the metaverse, sitting on your metaverse fucking couch. Like, she's
That's
probably
how
gonna
you
suck your
pull
cock. 3 years from now or less, like, we're gonna be at the club in Miami, and like Steiny's gonna like say to one of us, like, yo, dude, this guy in our booth tonight, like, he owns like this fucking biggest thing in the metaverse. Like, he owns like that. Like, that's what it's gonna be. It's just gonna
That's
be like,
crazy.
and you're gonna see the guy's gonna be iced
That's
out
insane.
with fucking 10 birds beside him and shit.
So clearly Nelk was once again doing what they always do, which was advertising a
I
lifestyle
don't mind a
based on material
relationship, but I
possessions
fuck
to a
with being
bunch of
single
losers.
more than with
I mean,
somebody.
the sheer idea that anyone would say, oh, there's that guy from the metaverse, he's the coolest guy in the virtual land, let's all blow him both metaphorically and physically at the same time, has to be one of the most unrealistic things I've heard in my entire life. As a matter of fact, I sat through the audio version of this podcast because the entire thing has now been removed from YouTube altogether, and I really felt like I was listening to a bunch of absolute idiots leading the blind into misery.
Casual people are like, why the fuck do I care to flex a fucking profile picture? But in 5 years, I feel like everyone will be doing it, and your profile picture will be like a flex.
But the entire time acting as though they really cared, as if they would do nothing to damage their reputation, and like their project was any different from any other NFT shitpool.
NFT projects aren't really that hard to build. You know, we could build any type of NFT project now. We've learned in 1 week.
Could have released one like
3-4 months ago.
3-4 months ago, but we thought through it. How are we going to really do
URL.
this proper?
And we could have made a lot of money.
Multiple times.
We kind of really did something different with it, which is like, it's a long-term thing, you know?
Yep.
It's pretty crazy what we could build over the next 5 years if it's done properly, you know?
Now, if you have not guessed it till this point in the video, I'm just gonna spoil it. They did not make good on any of these promises. There were no gyms, no casinos, no strip clubs, and no real-world utility in general. I mean, even the damn supplement company went under. You telling me I can't get full send creatine?
I was walking through an airport the other day and I was like, maybe we do a full send supplement store inside airports, you know? It's like...
And the other thing is, there was really no sense of community other than them continuing to sell this pipe dream. They did this by making their desperate viewers who idolize them really think they could go to a UFC event with Steve. Oh, maybe we're gonna shotgun a beer, Steve.
Like, the holders are fucking cool, too. Like, they're really cool people. They're all, like, every holder that I meet is always trying to, like, pitch ideas and, like, grow the business and shit.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just, like, a community of people that are trying to, like, build full send with us.
Well, maybe we can watch your
That's what it
podcast
is.
live as you interview Elon Musk while he's on ketamine. Who knows? Maybe the demented douchebags will buy you a hooker.
We have offers from 2 companies that we actually, we love. And they're 6-figure deals for YouTube advertisement. So basically, I'm going to give 100% of the advertisement money to a red card holder. So They'll be though. it's gonna be like 100,000. So I'm basically gonna just give
At least.
$100,000 minimum.
That's fucking nuts.
Now pay attention to when Steve specifically speaks about this red card, which was
Hey.
supposed to be minted
down
randomly
with it.
to lucky investors, claiming that it would give them some sort of god tier status that would allow them to basically become best friends with the Nelk clowns.
Just want to say shout out to all our Metacard holders. We're about to do this for you boys right now. Everyone on the Discord watching, we love you boys.
Even acting as if red card holders would now have some sort of say in the company, or like Steve said, maybe get hundreds of thousands of dollars.
The whole thing about the Metacard is it's such a long-term game. Like, it's like this is like the blue chip project. Like it's not you're not supposed to be like it's not supposed to make you a bunch of money now. It's like a 5-year thing. So even for me to be able to give $100,000 to
Me and
one of
Lock
the red card
was
meta holders
facts
that are
and
holding
sex.
right now, it feels
Just came
special
up.
because like I feel like for the red card holders, it's like you hold now, it's for the fucking future. Like
Yeah, that's
when you hold a
insane.
red card, it's kind of like
Oh.
you're holding for the future. Like it's
But that's the first perk for a red card holder, right?
Yeah, we
Like,
haven't
so
even
he-
announced
the first
perks.
big giveaway.
We haven't even announced perks, but there will be perks.
How many red card holder or
Well,
meta?
the
plot, we have a perk for them.
250?
There's 250.
You got decent odds.
It was essentially their version of the golden ticket from Willy Wonka. Only instead of a trip to the chocolate factory, you get all of jack shit. And once the meta cards were minted, they were essentially all the same, with none containing legally binding special perks. And outside of
But they
taking meta
finesse.
card holders to a couple of events like a Chargers game or a UFC match, and hosting a one-time live show where Snoop Dogg was the DJ,
Dope having you at our, when you DJ at our Metacard event.
Oh yeah,
That was dope.
I like
I
that. That was
appreciate
on the
that.
water, right?
Yeah.
I like that city too. That city is the shit.
there was nearly nothing going on with this project in terms of these quote-unquote investors getting anything out of their pulled together $23 million investment. And that money was just on the initial drop, as people who bought these things on secondary markets were paying between $7,000 to over $10,000 from others reselling these meta cards on OpenSea. And if you guys are curious, you can pick one of these things up for around $50 today. But Kyle really didn't give a shit because not only did they get the $23 million right off the bat in minutes, but every time someone sold these things on the secondary market OpenSea, they also got a 10% royalty from the sale automatically, represented by an estimated 10% of 1,750 Ethereum during that time, which allegedly netted them between $3 and $5 million. So not only did these guys make money on the way in, but also once everything started going up in value on these secondary markets because of this fear of missing out on these amazing perks, or even when the price eventually went down because people basically realized that it was worthless, they did not care because Nelk was still making 10 cents on every dollar.
Well, it's like what happened. I feel like a lot of these NFTs are just like pretty much like a new version of those shit coins that were around, right? Yeah.
And funny enough, per the blockchain's records, it makes it very clear that the millions which went into this minting wallet were pooled in large portions
What I
within weeks
say.
of their launch.
Exactly
As
what
far
I
as the
said. They
creator
were
goes, this is a
pulled.
new way of creating a business. Then now you've made you've sold out your project, hopefully, and now you have a bunch of Ethereum where you could start doing different things. You could skip out to the Bahamas if you want, right? And, never come back, which sadly a lot of people are doing. Or you can now do what we're doing, and you could put those funds in a secure place and start building businesses around it and rewarding those who helped you get there as well.
And obviously, with no gyms, casinos, restaurants, or really no events or anything tangible to show for the ownership of this card, people were really wondering what the fuck happened to all of that money. Because throwing a dudes only party with Snoop Dogg does not cost 23 million fucking dollars. Some even speculated that the money was spent elsewhere to build their real brand. Almost as if it was a zero interest loan that they never really planned to pay back. This is the reason that Kyle, his business manager John, and the Nelk boys are currently facing 2 major lawsuits, both of which could possibly involve every single person who bought into this project.
It's like a key to everything that we're gonna do. We really just targeted people that believe in our brand.
And here's where we get to the class action lawsuit being brought forward by a man named Trenton Smith, where he describes Nelk as a bunch of snake oil salesmen masquerading as entrepreneurs, claiming they sold digital assets that were advertised with benefits they never delivered on, specifically citing the lounges, gyms, festivals, casinos, restaurants, as well as the metaverse promises they made to their fans.
I always say we could build a full send hotel and casino, just like the Hard Rock in real life. Bro, you're probably better off just building one in the fucking metaverse.
That's
like, it's
so interesting.
crazy, bro. And they'll come and they'll buy Happy Dads. As the metaverse grows and people spend more time there, it's stupid now, it's not quite there, but as it grows, I feel like we're gonna have an extreme amount of opportunity there in the metaverse.
Yeah, agreed.
They also explicitly lay out here a few
There's
things
like
that
no
Nelk did
type of
actually
planning.
execute, like the
Free
50%
grabbing
off
for
the
free.
merchandise, the show with Snoop Dogg, and this claim that they gave away $250,000.
You seen
They
the
also
NBA
state here
thinking
that they are
about adding
seeking
2 new teams to the NBA in
$2,300 for each and every
2028.
person who
Nah,
bought
I
them
ain't see
into
that.
the
When-
card,
where you
which,
seen
like I
that
said
at?
earlier, is 10,000 people. Which, if my math
And where
is
they-
correct,
where the
that
2
means
teams
they want
gonna
their
be?
fucking money back. It is interesting to me
Gonna be
to
like,
see how often they
NFL,
cite things
32
that Kyle
teams?
himself said during podcast
Get
and the one
freaky?
interview he did
Don't
about
even
the
make sense.
NFTs. They even show this Discord message where Kyle said, "You guys bought this to make money, and don't worry, that is what we want as well. More communication coming as well." This presumably came after people were growing discontent with the things that Nelk was failing to deliver over time. In March, Kyle would also
They
take to
said some
Discord
about
to
they
promise a
hadn't settled
massive return on
Supersonics
investment
back in a team for
opportunity,
Vegas.
as well as more
Type
messages
shit.
reassuring
Yeah,
that
Vegas gonna
holders
get a
just
team
needed
for
to be
Southgate, they
patient.
do.
Keep in mind, this was only months after the Metacard launched, and by that time the NFT had already lost 70% of its value. So essentially all of these holders were just sitting on their hands, waiting for their overlord Kyle to throw them a bone. But in their content, they stopped talking about the Metacard altogether, and the communication to the community went mostly dark. It'll all be worth it, guys. I know some people are in a panic because of the market, but Nelk won't let down anyone. It's now in our DNA to let anyone down who believes, which might be one of the most ironic typos of all time. Our only goal is to see this floor price as high as possible.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
I feel like everything that we're gonna do, like John said, it's just gonna tie back to the Metacard. So there's always gonna be some sort of like benefit for the holder.
And this is where things get really interesting, because after
Watch this
years of
RQ
delivering
URL.
almost nothing, they bring about this board jerky venture, which is obviously
Hold on, let me
based on
finish
the
this.
branding
9
of
minutes.
the idiotic Bored Ape NFTs.
I don't want to keep pausing it
What
because
else
it's
can
gonna
we
make
do?
editing long.
It's a beef jerky. So we
Amazing.
have so we bought 4 more.
Finish
This guy's an original one. Sergeant Pepper is pepper flavor.
Amazing.
This guy with the bloodshot red eyes is spicy. These products, we're gonna do something with our NFT holders that can't really get into it yet because of details, but something where our NFT holders will be a big part of this.
Claiming it would be launched in 2024, and that the Metacard holders would be involved as they would get some sort of equity in this venture. The lawsuit does claim, though, that if a holder did want to be involved, that they had to fill out this form and relinquish their rights to sue Nelk in the future over the Metacard.
I'm being serious. It's good. It's high quality.
Board jerky, bro.
The best. Yeah, Metacard holders, be fucking proud of your boys right now. They're what's up.
I actually went and
That's
found
the
the
shit out of
announcement on
Buddy, yeah.
Twitter, where they claim that they reserved 40% of their beef jerky company for their Metacard community, and that for those who didn't wish to participate, they would refund your Metacard purchase. So on paper, this sounds pretty good, but then again, why should we trust them? Could it be that this is all a pivot to attempt to cover their ass on their failed promises? I'll get back to that in a second. And now as of 2026, the beef jerky store is completely offline. And it looks like it is now being rebranded from Bored Ape Jerky, likely because the NFT wave already died, to something called Ranger Cut Jerky that will apparently come out in spring of this year. But yes, as for the class action lawsuits, it is very close to being decided in court whether every Metacard holder will be involved or not.
The critics, it is what it is. It honestly motivates me because we've never really had that type of hate. So now to have it, just like, it really fuels me even more because it's like, there's no way you can lose now. Like, you can't let them be right.
And here is where we get to the second lawsuit, where Andros Hussery has sued Nelk for consumer fraud and false advertisement. Here they get more into the nitty-gritty of Nelk's promotion of the NFT, specifically citing podcast quotes and live streams in which the NFT was heavily discussed. In the podcast episode, defendant stated, "The Metacard is all about utilities and not art." An Instagram post stated, "First off, if you were looking for a quick flip to make some quick money, go buy another animal that looks like it's on Molly NFT. This project is a long-term play."
If they don't know how to build a business and a business model and run an operation for years and years and years to support the investment of all these people that put something into this asset, right? And they bought into it.
Turns out that was a lie. And like with the other lawsuit, they bring up these in-world perks and even the metaverse perks that never came to fruition. They also include this screenshot of the launch page from the mint day of the Metacard, which also represents the failure to make due on their promises. And they even argue that Nelk all along knew that none of this would actually happen. And they also say that they knew their own fans who believed their lies would be the ones to suffer. Now, where things get even more interesting to me is when they bring back up this refund, and the potential to turn your Metacard investment into the phantom shares in Bored Jerky that I mentioned earlier. Because now they specifically cite this Discord message that kind of laid out the rules and regulations, and this is where we learn that there is a 10-year expiration date on these phantom shares. Meaning if this company is not sold to a major corporation, or does not go public by that time, the phantom shareholders could in theory walk away with nothing. Meaning you can hold these shares for the full 10 years, and even if during that time the company is successful beyond your wildest imagination, if they are not bought out,
telling you right now, in 10 years, bro, that shit ain't gonna be worth nothing.
Teams get added, the Grizzlies are the Timberwolves are gonna get moved to the East.
Yeah, Nelk finessing the boys.
Better know what you're doing when you're going on that mission. I know professional shooters and I get them niggas pissed. But for that drill, they walk down. My young niggas most so sick. I try to teach this bitch a lesson, that little bitches wouldn't list. I tired of lectures, now I'm sending all these hoes to the tip. I put my city on loose swag. Little bitch, check out my invention. When BR niggas get a bag, we heading straight to the dick. I'ma put some diamonds in my dick. Reach for my jewelry, I leave you crazy.